तत्त्वानि निलयं ध्यात्वान्ते व्यज्यते परा. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest, constitutive principles of a whole body, Swadeha, or of the whole universe, simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause, Paramashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi Parashakti, is revealed, and the supreme. Thereyer was a Siddha and one of the prominent disciples of Agatyar.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramash.
And in this power of body scanning, it awakens the ability to scan any illnesses, diseases, medically diagnosed issues, and provide solutions through the awakened third eye.
So the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference to manifest the power of body scanning. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshmatarani cha tattvani ani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constitutive principles of the whole body, Swadeha, or of the whole universe simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause Paramashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine powered Paradevi Adi Shakti is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens.
And the Apta Pramana for the power of body scanning is from the life of Siddha. Terayar was a Siddha and one of the prominent devotees of Agathya. One day, a man suffering from a severe headache comes to Agathya for healing. Agathya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a type of terai, a small terai, a type of frog, sitting inside the person's brain. Agathya immediately instructs Teraya, his disciple, to perform an open head surgery to remove the frog. After the surgery is completed successfully, the person is healed of the headache, and thus he gained the name Terayar.
So now we will be seeing the Pratyaksha Pramana, the Atma Pramana. On the 22nd December 2019, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, revealed how Swamiji uses the power of body scanning, paraphrasing his own words. Only when I had the multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for a surgery and therefore for medical checkups related to that. At that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in my different organs. It was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used diagnostic methods instead of medical facilities to study the body scanning, body condition due to the poisoning. Through body scanning, I found out what the problems, imbalances had happened and where balance had to be done. I use allopathy as the second opinion to verify my findings.
And now all of you can see on the screen the Sakshi Pramana, the few of the screenshots taken from social media where some of the devotees who have been initiated into the powers have shared their experience with the power of body scanning. And now we will also be witnessing the live Sakshi Pramana, where we will be manifesting and demonstrating the powers of body scanning. So whoever would like a body scan, you can put your comments in the YouTube comments section. Yes, and Ma Nusra AI Ansari has asked for body scan. So Ma Pragnana, you can start scanning Ma Nusra AI Ansari. And everyone else who would like a body scanning can put your comments in the YouTube comment section. We can take one more body scanning. Ma Pragnana will now be chanting Mahavakya and scanning for Ma Nusra Ansari.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. So I was able to see that you have frequent headaches and you feel like your body is being strained a lot. For example, if you are using your hand for a long time, then your hand feels like it is it feels really kind of painful and feels strained. Same way, if you're using your leg, like walking for a long time, very easily your leg exhausts. So I was able to see this, and I was also able to see that you find imbalances in your hair growth. So these are the few things I was able to see. So the solution I was able to see is to chant the Mahavakya and hold the space for your body's healing, and to first remove the cognition that you're straining your body, so that the body's you will be able to continue your work without any stress. So I was able to see this now.
Yes, great. Ma Alambi, you can get back in the comment section if you were able to relate to what Ma Pragnana has revealed. And with this, today we will be concluding the session of Power Manifestation, the segment, and move on to the further segments. I thank all the viewers for joining us for this Power Manifestation segment. And everyone else who would like a body scan or want to witness these extraordinary powers can every day join us at 2 a.m. IST and 4 p.m. IST, where we will be having these segments again. And once again, I thank all of you for joining us. Thank you, Nityanandam.
Thank you, Nityanandam.
Please stay tuned for the further segments and the PARASHAKTI Akashic readings.
I welcome you all.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity.
I welcome you all with my love and respect.
Nityanandam, welcome back, dear viewers. Now we will be entering into the next segment where we will learn who is Devi PARASHAKTI and what are the Akashic readings. We can start the slide share. Sorry for the technical glitch. Now, we will understand in this segment who is Devi PARASHAKTI and what are the Akashic readings. Next slide, please. Yes, Ma Mother, I think you're muted, Ma.
Yes, sorry about that. So the Dhyana Shloka for Devi PARASHAKTI is from the Lalita Sahasranamam, Dhyana Shloka. Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayana Manikya Mauli Spurate Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhi Mapina Vakshoruham Panibhya Malipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Vipratim Saumyam Ratna Gatasta Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam.
And the translation for this is, the Divine Mother is to be meditated upon as shining in a vermilion red body with a triple eyes sporting a crown of rubies, studded with a crescent moon, a face all smiles, a splendid bust, one hand holding a jewel cup brimming with mead, and the other twirling a red lotus.
Arunam karunam tarangatakshim dritapashankushpushpavanachapam animadhiviravrita mayukaihi rahamityeva vibhavaye bhavani.
I meditate on the great empress. She is red in color, and her eyes are full of compassion, and holds the noose, the goad, the bow, and the flowery arrow in her hands, surrounded on all sides by powers such as Anima, and she is the self within me.
And Devi PARASHAKTI is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. PARASHAKTI is the cosmic mother, and it is in her womb from which billions and billions of universes come out and go in. It is the source where Big Bang and black holes go on and on. PARASHAKTI is the source Shakti, source energy, source power, and from which all of us came, all of us are in, and which all of us are going to go into, to merge.
Out of her extreme love and compassion, PARASHAKTI herself is manifesting through the embodied form as the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam Nityananda Parameshivam, gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to our prayers, giving boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, and future, delivering profound spiritual truth, and ultimately giving us the experience of Parameshivam itself. As Omkara, expressing as Vedas and Agamas of Parameshiva and Parameshwari, who rules the world, but Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nityananda, I took Nijavatara here to give good boon to everyone, to bestow all the goodness. Hiranyagarbha Swarupini, Brahmandayoni, Shami, Chandramauli, Rapala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Savitri, Samrajalakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nityananda, I came here as Nijavatara. With great compassion, I am blessing. Listen, people, to do good to all of you. I took the form of Nityananda and came down as Nijavatara. Raising in Omkara, blossoming as Shiva, manifesting as source of existence, powers of existence, expression of existence, from the oneness of Om, blossoming into two as Parashakti and Purusha, Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as three Shaktis, Ichcha, Kriya, Jnana, growing as four Vedas, expanding as the five Panchabhutas, beyond the six Chakras, filled as Gotras of the seven Rishis, expanding as eight directions, existing as the nine Grahas, blossoming as 10 Indriyas, being as 11 Rudras, creating all the worlds, bringing to life, to tell and make truth blossom, and to do good. Parashodasi, Meenakshi, in the form of Nityananda, I came to bless every one of you. So how do we receive Devi Parashakti? Literally, you are going to be seeing Parameshiva and Parashakti at that moment. She is there in your screen, so always receive her very traditionally. Keep 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and 1 coin in front of the screen. Watch Devi. The coin is considered the traditional dakshina. In Hindu tradition, it can be the lowest value. In India, it can even be 1 paise. In the US, it can be a cent even. I'm not trying to monetize. Keep even 1 cent. It is okay. So for 100 days, if you have darshan, you will add up to $1. In India, even 1 paise is okay. These are the direct words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on how to receive Devi. Offer that to Devi. After darshan is over, do namaskar and eat the banana, betel leaf, and betel nut. Take it as prasadam immediately. Collect these coins and send it to LA Temple. This betel leaf, betel nut may look too small, but in a few days you will see how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take Devi darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality and lifestyle and remind you and raise you to the powerful cognitions. It will break your unconscious behavior. And this is how you set up the tambulam with 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and 1 coin. Yes, now we will move on to understand what are the Akashic readings. Yes, we can start the slide here. So what are the Akashic records? Akashic records are the records created in space. Whatever has happened in time, there is a file. Nothing can be destroyed. Please understand, none of your actions, thoughts, plans, emotions, words, nothing can be destroyed. Akashic records are the cosmic archives of everything happened, happening, and will happen. What are the Akashic records? The Akashic records are the verbal, visual, 5-dimensional document. Whatever is happening is continuously getting recorded. All the information you collected from all of your births is in your DNA. You can access some of them just to understand and not to waste the time doing the same actions again and again.
And the Akashic readings are not a prediction. It is readings from the cosmic archives. So there is no such thing as past, present, and future. Beyond space, where creation and destruction happen simultaneously, and in the dimension of time starts the past, present, and future. But in the Akashic records, there is no past, no present, and no future. And that is why what you call as happening, and yet to happen is already clearly recorded.
In Swamiji's own words, nobody has a right to comment on these readings. Nobody has a right to manipulate these readings. Nobody has a right to interpret these readings. They are complete unto themselves. For anybody to live in tune with the cosmos, the Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment does not need any special practice other than listening to the great readings again and again. When you listen to these great readings, naturally, your negative logic is penetrated. These great truths settle in your inner space and they make you live enlightenment.
And only an avatar can decode the Akashic readings. As the avatar of Parameshwar, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, has graced humanity with the blessings and darshan in the form of Devi PARASHAKTI, revealing answers to the questions of the yearning of seekers as solutions, breakthroughs, and liberating humanity from pain and suffering. And any answers given by Devi PARASHAKTI is not just an answer, but a karmic breakthrough for all of us and for the receiver. And the Shastra Pramana for the power of Akashic readings is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Dharana 61 and Sutra 84. Akasham vimalam pashyan kritva drishtim nirantaram stabdatma tatkshanat devi bhairavam vapurapnuyat.
And the translation goes, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, looking at this infinite etheric space, Akasha, beyond the sky and clouds, one should fix one's gaze from the third eye without blinking continuously and make the body and inner space steady and motionless. In that very moment, O Devi, one attains the nature and powers of the infinite space of Bhairava.
And the Apta for the power of Akash is from the Hindu
What are the benefits of having your Akasha free?
and only an avatar can alter the Akashic feelings. Of course, uninitiated Balasan can view the Akashic chords. However, only the avatar can edit, alter, upgrade, and change the Akashic chords. So during the darshan and Diksha, the supreme point of Hinduism, blesses and upgrades the Akashic chords as per the prayer of the devotees.
And what can you learn from these Akashic readings? You can understand the most accurate and unbiased answer to any question about your life, destiny, purpose, or any and everyday part of your life. You can be spiritually healed of physical and emotional problems with just a look or word, and understand the reasons behind your life purposes happening. You can receive blessings to fulfill your right desires and get the clarity to redesign your future.
And now with this, we come to the conclusion of this segment, and we will be moving on to the further segments. So please stay tuned. We will be back after a short break.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Yes. So let us now understand briefly the words of Devi Parashakti, the revelations that she has given in her totality, guidance for the whole humanity as we are navigating these extremely dark and intense times. Devi Parashakti had revealed about the neem flower just a few weeks back on the 27th of April, 2021. And the neem flower is an especially powerful herb that is used abundantly in Ayurvedic sciences. And it has so many benefits that not only it gets rid of many of our diseases and sufferings, but also it gets rid of depression in its entirety during this pralaya. And that is what Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed. Let me first read out the words of Devi PARASHAKTI for each and every one of you to imbibe. And remember that just listening to the words that Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed during the Akashic reading is such an intense process in itself. So Devi PARASHAKTI said, listen intensely, apply turmeric in your forehead, intake flowers of neem in your inner tongue, be in an unclutched state in your heart, and have the anthill soil in your lower abdomen, an onion in your heels as a protection, and go to sleep every day. You will be established in the Nirvikalpa state and be in the state of Turiya. Parameshwari, I am blessing you all. Only this is the sweet way to get rid of diseases, sufferings, ailments, karmas, mental stress, depression of this pralaya. Oh, people, listen, Devi PARASHAKTI continues. Life without any hardships will happen. I am giving you the completion of enlightenment and Paramashiva Padam. Let you live in Nityananda with stability. Always I will be with you and protect you. Don't worry. Once again, these are the beautiful revelations of Devi PARASHAKTI on the neem flower. Now we'll just watch this very brief clip from the 11th of June, 2021, where Devi PARASHAKTI reveals about how you can sit in Padmasana just with the help of neem flower.
You will be able to sit in Padmasana like me. Eat the rice with a neem flower. This is the instruction for all the humanity. Neem flower and the rice will heal your body and remove all the pains, induce flexibility, samana and prana, detox your body and clear apana. Om.
Yes. Next slide, please. Just in summary, what Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed just now.
You will be able to.
She said, you will be able to sit in Padmasana like me, eat the rice with the neem flower. This is instruction for all of humanity. Neem flower and rice will heal the body and remove all pains, induce flexibility, samana and prana, and detox your body and clear your apana. Now, here we have a few of the magazines and articles which have, and other journals have recognized the potency, the power of healing in neem. And here it says that neem tree offers useful and known for its mechanical medicinal use. And the flowers, just as leaves, have plenty of therapeutic benefit, which explains its many uses in the Ayurvedic medicine since ages. And we already know that neem flower extremely helps the digestive health. And specifically, it helps in improving the digestive health. And if you use the dry powdered form in cooking, it can be included in its fried, boiled, dried, or roasted forms in rice dishes and in sauces for therapeutic purposes. The neem flower will give you the benefit to your digestive health and help in improving your digestive system. The neem flower is also very well known to be extremely effective in losing fat, mostly from the belly area, which is down. And the neem flower is also very good at dried flower, at helping the liver health. Dried flowers can be powdered and consumed every morning, mixed in a glass of warm water. It helps in cleansing the liver and removes unwanted toxins from the body. It is good for the liver. The neem flower is also very potent in blood detoxification. Dried neem flowers in their powdered form can be consumed every morning with a glass of water. It helps in blood detoxification and purifies the body internally. This means clearer and glowing complexion. It also improves metabolism. Consuming neem flowers on a regular basis helps in improving metabolism. It improves blood circulation, is good for immunity, and offers great positivity. Neem flowers are also used in treatment of belching, nausea, anorexia, and intestinal worms. Ayurveda says that its leaves are magical for the eyes and beneficial for treating headaches and skin. And we also have certain evidences from different research that neem flower is very preventive in carcinogenesis. So it helps reverse and is preventive of cancer cells itself and the making of cancer cells. Neem flower is considered an antiseptic that can cleanse your system, and it is also known to cure skin impurities when applied on skin. And during the summer or the Chitre month, as a tradition, neem flower, jaggery, salt can be mixed and eaten. And this beautiful recipe balances the heat in the body and also the pitta in the body. Boiling water with neem flower strengthens the liver and is an excellent remedy for children. The next slide, please. And here we have a couple of recipes that you can use for different effects of neem flower. For boosting your immunity, you can soak the neem flower in buttermilk with salt and keep it for 3 days and then store that in an airtight container. That can be roasted in gingerly oil and consumed regularly. Then you can also soak the flower in water overnight, and early morning you start drinking the water to help strengthen the body. And also for balancing the pitta, you can roast the flowers in ghee, and that can be made as a tuvayal with curry leaves. So this brings us to a conclusion for this revelation on the neem flower. Now, in the next segment, we'll be understanding Devi's revelations on immunity and how she revealed that COVID affects the immunity of the human beings, even after you have had it once. So we're seeing some of the research which is compiled on how the lasting effects of COVID are much longer than even after you are tested negative for COVID, and thus how it compromises the immune system. So we'll be right back with you after a short break and start this next segment. Yes, I request a volunteer if you can pull up the slides for the immunity. Devi PARASHAKTI's revelations on immunity. Yes, so the next slide, please. Yes, we can play this video.
கரும்பூஞ்சை வியாதிக்கு வைத்தியம் கேட்கின்றாய், நன்றாய் தெரிந்து கொள். கரும்பூஞ்சை வியாதி நுரையீரல் மட்டுமல்லாது மூளையையும் நசுக்கி மனிதனை ஜடமாக்கி மரணத்திற்குள் தள்ளும் உயிரியல் ஆயுதம். மனிதர்கள் மீது நடத்தப்படும் உயிரியல் போர் இது. நவபாஷாணத்தின் மீது பொழியப்பட்ட நீரும் மஞ்சளும் பாலும் வேம்பு ரசமுமே இதற்கு மருந்து. அதை அருந்தி உடலிலே அதை ஊற்றி நீராடி இருந்தவர்க்கு காவல் அம்பிகையின் சக்தி. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம். சிருஷ்டி நஷ்டமாகாதிருக்க தேவ ரகசியங்களை தெளிவாய் உலகத்திற்கு சொல்லிவிட்டேன். இந்த ரகசியங்கள் எல்லாம் உலகத்திற்கு நாம் நித்யானந்தன் வடிவு கொண்டு சொல்லும் பொழுது எதிரிகள் பெருங்கோபத்தோடு நித்யானந்தன் திருவுருவை அழித்திடாமல் இருந்திடவே அவன் திருவுருவை கைலாயத்திற்கு கொண்டு வந்து பாதுகாப்பாக்கிக் கொண்டு பிறகு இந்த உண்மையெல்லாம் உலகத்திற்கு சொல்லுகின்றேன். அன்னை பராசக்தியும் கூட உண்மைகளை உலகிற்கு சொல்லும் முன் தற்காப்பு செய்து கொள்ள வேண்டிய அளவிற்கு மனிதர்களின் அரக்கத்தனமும் அட்டூழியமும் உலகத்தில் அரண்டு ஆடுகின்றது. ஓம் 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 ஓம்.
Okay, we'll go on to the next slide. Yes. So as you can see, Devi PARASHAKTI says, you are asking remedy for black fungal disease. Know properly, black fungal disease not only it will affect the lungs, it will also smash the brain. It is a bioweapon that makes humans lifeless matter and puts them to death. The next slide, please. Yes. Devi PARASHAKTI goes on. The demonishness and the atrocities of humans is dancing in the world that even Mother PARASHAKTI needs to do self-protection before telling the truth to the world. The next slide, please. So we saw how black fungus in the news and by the authorities was denied and dismissed for many months, and then declared an epidemic by several states within India, then declared as a pandemic within a pandemic. We also are going to see how the
Yes, welcome back. Thank you for waiting and sorry for the technical glitch to all of the viewers. So once again, let us understand about black fungus. It has already been declared as an epidemic by several states, and black disease was linked to COVID-19 across India. And so many news channels, many news articles were already sharing the news that was supported by substantiated research and evidence showing how many COVID-19 patients were now infected and more susceptible to black fungus disease. And as of May 22nd, 2021, there were 7,200 reports of people who had the black fungus disease. And 219 people who had lost their lives. The next slide, please. Yes. And here we are seeing India faces shortage of treatments in the face of two epidemics. One being the COVID-19 pandemic, and then the black fungus infection. And here also, COVID-19 increases black fungus infections risk in India. The next slide, please. Also, we're seeing how black fungus as of 29 May 2021 was declared as an epidemic. Deadly black fungus outbreak declared an epidemic and can cause cases climb to 12,000 in COVID hit India. It's an extremely crucial situation, and the people who are having black fungus are really suffering and dying the most painful death. The next slide, please. And it's also recognized here as a pandemic within the COVID-19 pandemic. After COVID-19, the soaring number of fungus infections among the recovered patients has emerged as a new medical concern. Many more than 12,000 cases of the fungus infection have been reported, and have different parts of the country have created a sense of panic among the people. The next slide, please. And again, it says here that the flesh-eating black fungus disease is killing off patients who survived COVID-19. And as Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed, saying that it will smash the brain also. Here it says that black fungus has near 50% mortality rate and is tragically killing many of the relieved to have beaten COVID-19. The infection can eat through skin, and even those it attacks the brain and other critical organs. Once it starts growing that way, it's very difficult to control. Doctors studying the outbreak in India say steroids used to treat COVID-19 also weaken the immune system, and for this reason, leaving patients susceptible to the fungus. The next slide, please. And again, Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed revealed that human beings will die like rats and cats on the street. We saw how dead bodies are floating in the large quantity in Ganga, how authorities are fudging numbers and underreporting. We're seeing the reality where dogs are eating those dead bodies, and because dogs ate those dead bodies, they are dying. And poor human beings eating those dogs are not even able to find food, and they are also dying. This was some of the revelations from Devi PARASHAKTI, showing us the reality of what's going on. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had revealed that literally there will be floating bodies in Ganga, and just a few days later we saw the articles about Buxar locals more worried about water contamination there where the bodies came from. We saw how Ganga had started to have, and more than 2,000 bodies were uncovered from the banks of River Ganga. And also we have articles that are showing the terrifying truth about dogs eating the dead bodies. Here it says, for the last 2 to 3 months, people have been burying in dead bodies here in one of the places and in the Sangam area. And because of the open ground, many of the dead bodies attract animals, and rats and dogs have been eating those dead bodies. And also we have here how, as India is reeling under the massive second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of deaths has also increased, such is the situation that cremation and burial grounds are packed to capacity. And again, this goes to show what Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed to us just a few weeks back. And again here, how the poor human beings eating those dogs' dead bodies because they don't have food and they are dying, how this has come true, where it says that over 150 dead bodies, which have been reported as COVID fatalities, were dumped on the banks of River Ganga, and these COVID bodies will be washed down further and can be eaten by stray dogs, which will further spread the virus. It's a very harsh reality that we're really dealing with here. The next slide, please. And again, more evidence on bodies found floating in Ganga in UP day after Bihar horror. Dead bodies washed up on the banks of Ganga are sighted for the second straight day, and the spot is around 55 kilometers upward from Bihar, and where more than 100 bodies were found yesterday, evoking shock and anger. The Bihar authorities had argued that the corpses had floated down from Uttar Pradesh, as they state that the tradition of consigning bodies to water. And also, how much underreporting is going on is another severe issue, as the world is not understanding the truth of how many people are dying. reports are downplaying the number and reporting 40 deaths per day, whereas the real number is actually upwards of 400. The next slide, please. Again, saying here, what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had said, India is dying and media is lying. Earlier reports had downplayed the number of deaths happening to 40, but in other articles showing the truth, it says that the deaths per day are upwards of 400. And we're seeing how India is in denial of the most deadliest disease. And in the New York Times, they published an article showing some of the estimated figures just based off of statistics on how much we do not know about the pandemic. Here, it's saying that the real number of deaths is showing 307,000, but the estimated is double that at 600,000 deaths. And another real number of the number of cases is 1.6 million, but the estimated number of deaths from COVID-19 is 4.2 million. And so these are the estimated counts of the number of fatalities from COVID-19. And just shows how much underreporting is going on in India. And especially now, after so many months, we are seeing the same thing happening again and again. Again, here it's saying human beings will die like rats and cats on the streets. That is what Devi PARASHAKTI had revealed. And again, over 2,000 bodies were found in the river Ganga, and it's literally horrified the people who were there and the people who are witness to this. And the New York Times says that the actual figures are likely to be much higher than more than half of the Indian population infected with COVID. India's population of 136 crore, 1.36 billion, versus 700 million people who are infected. The next slide, please. And again, here in the print is saying that at worst case, India's COVID deaths are 14 times higher than the government count. And again, the COVID-19 disease was much later on only now recognized as an airborne disease. However, for so many months and up until actually a year, there was so much of denial and criticism of so many people and authorities who had said that COVID is in fact airborne. And Devi PARASHAKTI herself warned all of her disciples, all those whom she is protecting, that COVID is airborne and we have to remain protected entirely from it with multi-layer quarantine. The next slide, please. We saw how the Nobel Prize winner Louis Montagnier had actually had said that COVID-19 was created in a lab and was created by the variant of another disease. And he had warned the whole world that this was ongoing. The next slide. And here, there's an article saying, bombshell, Nobel Prize winner reveals that COVID-19 is creating variants. Meaning that people are using this as a bioweapon. The next slide, please. And for so many months, the different scientists and different people were trying to convince authorities and the media to tell the world that the world's most infectious disease is actually airborne, meaning just from the air you can catch the disease. And scientists say that new authorities now only are recognizing this fact and are seeing that this is the reality. And yet, even though this was denied so far, this is accepted only recently. Here in the Mint, we have an article that is saying America's delayed acceptance of airborne transmission of COVID. And in that article here, it says, though scientists have been discussing airborne transmission for months, it was only last week that the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the CDC made this official. So authorities were not accepting of the fact that COVID-19 is actually airborne. And now that they do accept it, they're taking many steps, even too late, to warn the world and precaution the world about how COVID-19 is in fact airborne. And here it says how the Hindu explains how the COVID-19 is airborne. And again, they're also saying that home quarantine is not possible in India. This is again something that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been insisting on and warning us for so many months beforehand. And that is why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself had opened up the Kailasa Care multi-layer quarantine centers. And the Hemanta Biswa Sharma from Assam had literally told that home quarantine is a prime reason for large number of deaths in Assam. He says that Assam Chief Minister said that the home quarantine is one prime reason for large number of deaths during the second wave of COVID-19 in Assam. Assam on Monday witnessed 92 deaths, which was highest in single-day deaths. The state that Sharma said, we have had more death cases happening from home isolation. Yes, the next slide, please. And here it says that Maharashtra government on Tuesday announced the decision to stop home quarantine in 18 districts which show higher COVID positivity rates than the state's average. The state's public health minister, Rajesh Tope, said that the decision is taken to ensure better healthcare facilities to patients in districts which are showing higher positivity rates. The next slide, please. And another article from the Business Line saying that COVID-19 on why home quarantine is not possible for the majority of Indians. And here they say that about 41% of houses have just a single home, which is shared by about 5 persons. And because of that, they have no exclusivity in living room. About 5 people share an accommodation. About 32% of households have 2 rooms, adding to the woes in the fact that only 47% of households have access to water within the premises and 42% don't. So these are all the problems that you can see. There's no way that home quarantine can be possible in India. And here it says the self-isolation for COVID-19 is impossible for 40% of families. In the article, it says, in order to utilize India's healthcare infrastructure optimally to manage the expanding fallout of coronavirus, the central government on the 27th of April signed a change in approach from mandating that every person who tests positive for the virus be moved to isolation beds in dedicated hospitals or units. The government allowed home quarantine for those with mild symptoms. The key additional condition was that their home should allow for self-quarantining. That in India is easier said than done. According to the census in 2011, about 42% of Indian households were living in houses where on average 3 or more people were sharing a room. In the context of coronavirus, this challenge of physical distancing is greater in rural areas, where 45% of households than in urban ones, which are 35% of households. Only one state, Kerala, is looking relatively dignified on this metric, and all districts reporting at least 250 cases have anywhere between 34% and 54% households averaging 3 or more to a room. And again, in the COVID-19 crisis, where is the space for home quarantine in cities? In this article, it's saying that the health ministry last week said most cases of coronavirus have been asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic and have advised home isolation for such people. It is also said that 65% cases across the country were reported from metros and big cities. However, census data suggests that experts also agree that following the ministry's guidelines on home quarantine is nearly impossible, particularly in urban households. The guidelines on home quarantine say that the person showing COVID symptoms has to remain isolated in a well-ventilated room, preferably with an attached toilet. If another family member needs to stay in the same room, it's advisable to maintain a distance for at least 1 meter between the two, if it's stated. So as you can see, it has been extremely difficult for families in India to follow this home quarantine. And that is the exact reason why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had recognized this and had opened up Kailasa COVID care centers for multi-layer quarantine, where it is possible to ensure your safety and your family's safety. And when the whole world is closing its doors and is in panic about Indian passengers traveling and new variants coming out of India, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened up Kailasa COVID care centers. So now you can, if you want to, ensure that you learn more about this and sign up and register yourself if you'd like to for the Kailasa COVID care center in Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham or any of the 13 other Adinams which are opening up for multi-layered quarantine. And you can go to kailasa.org/Kailasa COVID care in order to read and see more about that. Now, we'll be moving on into the further segments of today's program and understanding the offerings that you can do to at the feet of Devi PARASHAKTI today and all other days for Devi PARASHAKTI, especially with Guru Purnima coming up. These are extremely favorable, extremely blessed opportunities for each and every one of us to offer during this very festive occasion. So we'll be right back with you after a very quick break and begin the next segment of today's program.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness, we can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding. About life, we can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you. And make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kaila is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifest in my life, perfected by teaching millions
saruruham. You whose brightness from toenails destroy the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees who prostrate at your feet. You whose brightness from your 2 feet overpowers that of the lotus flower. This Varnamati offering can bring so much of auspiciousness and bliss in your life. So you can offer this Varnamati offering. And for any of the offerings that we are presenting to you
whose
today,
brightness
you can go
from
to
toenails destroy the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees.
offer the toe ring
who
to Devi,
prostrate at your
adorning her
feet,
sacred feet, to be in constant gratitude for receiving her blessings, even in the most difficult aspects of our life. And the next slide, please. The next offering is the Svarna Mangtika, the golden hairline jewelry. Again, this is another beautiful offering from the sacred Hindu tradition. And the Mangtika is actually a very significant piece of jewelry, which represents the nectar flowing from the Sahasrara Chakra, which is fully open. For those of you who don't know, the Sahasrara Chakra, when fully opened, is seated on the crown of the head and is represented by the fully open 1,000-petaled lotus. So from that Sahasrara Chakra that is open, the nectar which is flowing from that flower is represented by the Mangtika, the jewelry. So in the different verses, Devi Parashakti is described as Shuddha Sarabhi Varshani, meaning she who makes the nectar flow in all of the nerves from the Sahasrara, or she who gives a very present experience of the ultimate. So you can offer this Varna Mangtika, the golden hairline jewelry, in order to experience overflowing gratitude and complete completion in your life. Yes, we can go on to the next slide, please. The next slide, please. Yes. So now the next offering is the most coveted, most enjoyable Pratyaksha Pada Puja. And also on July 23rd is Guru Purnima. So make sure that you're getting ready, at least to offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja on this extremely auspicious day. So I'll just chant the Pramana once again for the Pratyaksha Pada Puja. Nakadidita samchana namajjana tamo guna padadvala prabhajala parakrita saruruha. The illuminating splendor of Devi's toenails dispel the darkness of ignorance in the devotees. Prostrating at her feet defeat the lotus in beauty. Now in Shlokam number 83 of the Saundarya Lahari, which states that the nails have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi. In this verse, Tamoguna is darkness, and in the Stotram, Tamas is indicative of ignorance in the minds of devotees. And by constantly prostrating before Devi, their ignorance is removed and they attain ultimate knowledge. So offering this Pratyaksha Pada Puja to Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Jagat Guru, Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Param Shivam, bestows all the auspiciousness and blessings upon you. Now, the final offering is the Vastra Seva, which is the offering of the sacred cloth, which you can also offer. Now, this is a table of all of the offerings that we have available for you to do today. And not only if you are ready to make the payment today, but also if you really want to make these offerings, any one of these offerings, either because you have a personal sentiment behind wanting to offer one of these in some way or form to Devi Parashakti, so that it is offered at her sacred feet, out of your personal love and gratitude to Devi Parashakti, or if you, but you might not be ready. You also have an option today to fill out the intention form and the registration form for making for manifesting this offering in your your life, and you will be able to also get more details if you need it for making these offerings. So in summary, all of the offerings here today are the E-Hundi offering, the Sankalpa chanting, the Devi Sahasranama cast, the Mukta Anguti offering, the Swarna Pushpangika, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, and the Vasta Seva. Yes, and the next slide, please. So once again, today there are two options that you can go ahead with if you are ready today to offer, or if you want to make your intention in offering. If you're just interested in making the offering, or you want help in sincerely manifesting this offering in your life, or you want to have more details about the offering, you can proceed to the registration form at tiny.cc/bhavasamadhi. If you're ready to make an online payment today, you can go to tiny.cc/Devi offering. And after the payment, you can go to the Sankalpa form to ensure your details are submitted for the puja. So now we will walk you through the basic steps of how to make your payment and how to fill out these forms, and also how to make a donation on the YouTube super chat if that is something that you would like to do today. So once again, all of these offerings are beautiful ways that you can offer your gratitude at the feet of Devi PARASHAKTI today. And not only that, with the Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam being celebrated, this is a very auspicious time to also offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja at the feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the Guru Purnima day. Guru Purnima day is July 23rd. So make sure that you're noting in your calendars to join Kailasa for the celebrations on this auspicious festival. And not only that, Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam being celebrated. Yes, so we'll just keep going through now. And we'll be right back with you to the walk for the payment process. Yes, so as you can see here, this is the PARASHAKTI Bhavasamadhi Darshan payment form. And you can go to the drop-down menu and select the payment that you would like to make, the offering that you would like to make, and then proceed for checkout. You can say add to cart. Yes, so as an example, we're just showing one of the offerings here. You can select any of the offerings that you'd like to make and then proceed. Yes, and go to the next step. Yes. So then we can say proceed to checkout once we're at this step. And here you'll be needing to fill all of your billing details and other details required for making the payment on your for today's seva, whatever offerings that you'd like to make. So after we fill out this form and then you proceed with the next thing, you can, that's just a very quick process. After that, you can go to the Sankalpa 2021 form and fill out that form. That form is here it is. It's just a very quick form where you are going to be filling out your details, your name, and also all the members on whom, on behalf of whom you are offering this seva. So these names will be chanted out during the sankalpa, during the offering, and all of the blessings, the auspicious blessings will then be bestowed on you. So this is a very important form. Make sure that you are filling it after you make the payment. And then another option that you have to make any amount of donation is also the YouTube Super Chat. YouTube Super Chat, if you have not already, is a very unique way. You can just head on over to YouTube and become a member of the channel. Once you become a member, you can then donate to the channel any amount, or you can donate on the live feed. You can select the super chat and then you'll be taken through some very easy steps to make your donation. So these are extremely easy ways that you can be able to make a donation, make an offering in any amount that you'd like today. Thank you very much for joining us in this segment of today's program. We'll now be proceeding with the next segment of today's program, understanding from the Adi Kailasha administrators the updates from the Kailasa COVID Care Centers. So now we'll just be right back with you after a quick break.
What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa.
I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world.
powerful cognition, knowledge. Only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem.
Power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens.
So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems.
I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you.
We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness, we can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home.
Nityananda, the next segment is going to be the multi-layer quarantine COVID Care Protection Center at the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. Now let us look at the stats today, where younger adults are more likely to report the symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during COVID-19 pandemic. So if you look at the age groups from age group 18 to 24, it's about 56.2%, and age groups of 25 to 49, it's about 48.9%, and ages from 50 to 64, it is 39.1%, and from ages 65 plus, it is 29.3%. The average share of adults reporting the symptoms of anxiety disorder, it ranges from 10% in Jan to June 2019, but over the period of 2 years in Jan 2021, when we took the same stats, it's about 41.1%, which means it's about threefold increase in the average share of adults reporting the symptoms of anxiety disorder or the depressive disorder. Now, let us look at what the employees say. They feel more than half the time at work, where they feel tired, stressed, burnt out, discouraged, distracted, and depressed. 34% of them feel they are tired or stressed out, and 27% of them feel burnt out, 22% feel discouraged, and 19% of them feel distracted, and 17% of them feel they are depressed. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most of the Americans. Nearly 8 in 10 people say that the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their life. And nearly 7 in 10 people say that they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. 1 in 4 essential workers, 25% of them are diagnosed with mental health disorder since the start of the pandemic. More than 60,000 US healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19, in which 300 of them have died. An estimated 300 to 400 physicians die by suicide every year. Of the health workers who treated patients during China's COVID-19 outbreak, 50% of them showed signs of depression. 45% of them showed signs of anxiety, according to the preliminary research. 15% of them, in terms of the self-reported mental health among the pregnant women, new mothers, they have shown 15% of them have experienced signs of depression. 29% of them are anxious. These are the stats or the percentage that we look at people before COVID-19 pandemic. But however, during the pandemic, you can see a whooping increase, about threefold increase. For example, depression, in terms of depression, you can see 40.7% of people are depressed in terms of the pregnant mother, and 72% of the pregnant mother feel anxious. More people in Bangladesh died from suicide in last year than those who were killed by the coronavirus, according to a new study on Saturday by Alcohol Foundation. Bangladesh reported 70% more deaths from suicide than the COVID-19. India accounts for 17.8% of all the reported suicide cases. According to the National Crime Bureau, India has reported 381 suicides daily for the year 2019. A large study finds a dramatic increase in the number of adults in the United States reporting symptoms of depression during the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of adults experiencing depression in the US has tripled, according to a major study. Researchers estimate that more than 1 in 4 US adults now report experiencing symptoms of depression. Before the pandemic, 8.5% of US adults reported being depressed. That number has seen a rise to 27.8% as the country struggles with COVID-19. Now, 76% of them are burnt out. 57% of them are worried about COVID-19 being a contributing factor. 33% of them worried about political issues have contributed to their burnt out. So you can clearly see in terms of people, 60%, nearly 60% of them are burnt out, and they suggest COVID-19 being one of the factors for them to feel extremely burnt out. And 78% of the global workforce says pandemic has negatively affected their mental health. And 85% of them say that their mental health issues are causing sleep deprivation, poor physical health, reduced happiness at home, strained family relationships or isolation from friends. 68% of the people would prefer to talk to a robot over their manager about stress and anxiety at work. 76% of the workers believe their company should be doing more to protect the mental health of the workforce. Now, what we are seeing today is basically take any segment of the society, whether it is pregnant women or young workers or youngsters per se, every single section of the society is extremely stressed, and they are shown the symptoms of anxiety and depression disorders. At least you can see 3 to 2 folds of increase than what it used to be earlier. So that is where the world is struggling today, and here we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashiva has opened his home, the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa, to one and all for you to experience the superconscious breakthrough in these testing times of pandemic. So you can join us in the COVID care protection centers, where you'll be given free food, free accommodation, free internet services. You can work from home, and most importantly, you can feel empowered. You can feel spiritually evolved during these testing times of pandemic. So you can join us and register through the link kailasa.org/kailasacare. KAILASA.org/KAILASACARE. So let's take a few minutes to sign up into the link kailasa.org/kailasacare. You can work from home, and most importantly, you can feel empowered. You can feel spiritually evolved during these testing times of pandemic. So you can join us and register through the link kailasa.org/kailasacare. Now let us look at the Kailasa's libraries. Hinduism, Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is a knowledge-based tradition. What was once passed on orally from time immemorial has in the last few thousand years begun being transmitted through written word in the form of family scriptures, books, and libraries. Only if you read the original Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, you will understand the reality, the truth, what I stand for. Jnanalaya, the Grantha Samadhi, Hindu traditional library, has the principles like the books are the living representative of Savitri and Dakshinamurti, the meaning that they express the authenticity of the truth. From the original 100 million source books of Hinduism, barely 20% of them remain today. Through Kailasa's Department of Enlightened Civilization, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has committed his life to ensure the preservation, protection, and transmission of the age-old, authentic, time-tested Hindu knowledge. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism serves to not only protect the branches of knowledge remaining today, but also to revive this vast knowledge which has been lost over years of genocide and persecution. The Rig Vedas, one of the fundamental source scriptures of Hinduism, express the concept of Hiranyagarbha, a universal womb. From the concept of Hiranyagarbha comes the understanding of space out of which everything comes zero. From Asia to Persia, then on to Arabia through Hindu scholar Kanaka, this knowledge is today the cornerstone of everything considered as the binary logic. The traditional Hindu form of medical diagnostics and treatments, with its roots in Hindu scriptures and reference in chapters of Rig Veda, it stands as the oldest living medicinal system still being used and practiced today. This includes the use of copper in medical instruments for its antibacterial properties and the use of Ayurvedic methodology in treatments for rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. Surya Siddhanta, an ancient Hindu literature detailing the science of astronomy, including the speed of light, distance from the sun, diameter of the earth, and the planetary orbitals, long before the recent understanding of modern optics. Yoga, the age-old science and the practice of yoga, has a direct reference and origin in Hindu Agamas, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Yoga Pradipika, Rudramalayam Tantra, Garanda Samhita, and countless other huge scriptures. Kashmiri Saivism, the Hindu science of consciousness and awareness, extending its application through the form of mental, emotional, physiological, neurological, and physical freedom. Yoga, the age-old science and the practice of yoga, has a direct reference and origin. Hindus have lived in Kashmir for more than 10,000 years. The name Kashmir derives its origin from the name of Rishi Kashyapa, one of the Sapta Rishis or the 7 great Rishis as described in Vedas. Over the course of repeated and systematic genocide, persecution and invasion which continues to this date, Hindus were mercilessly killed and their knowledge burned to ashes. Today, Hindus in the Valley of Kashmir are less than 2% of the total population. Hindus have lived in Kashmir, lost knowledge of Kashmir. In the recent forced Hindu exodus in Kashmir, Hindu population in Kashmir before the exodus of 1990, it was 160,000 people. Whereas in 2016, 30 years after the violent exodus, what we've observed is a shocking stats. Just 2,000 to 3,000 people are remaining. With this unprecedented volume of Kashmiri Saivism scriptures, literatures, scholars and saints have not only been lost forever, but continue to wither away to this date. Next is the Nalanda University that served as the global hub of knowledge for nearly 800 years. The temples, laboratories, monasteries, and the 9-story library of Nalanda University attracted scholars from across the globe. Burned continuously for 6.5 months in the 11th century, thousands of students got murdered, thousands were more beheaded, millions of manuscripts and thousands of sincere scholars who can never be replaced. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanitanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Parashivam has taken up the mission to revive the world's lost freedom, lost wisdom, ancient sciences, and indigenous knowledge traditions for the benefit of humanity through Kailasa's Nityananda Hindu Library. From 2003 onwards, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been a continuous contribution to the preservation, protection, and transmission of knowledge in all its form, whether it's through collection of 100,000 plus physical literature on Hinduism, 400,000 plus digital literature, more than 240 million pages of indigenous Hindu knowledge, collaboration with 5 traditional libraries, including the most ancient Hindu monasteries and preserved personal collections, over 3 terabyte yoga scriptures collected. Next is the world's largest collection of Saiva Agamas and world's largest collection of Kashmiri Saivism scriptures. What we are seeing today now is the collection of 31,000 plus traditionally preserved palm leaf scriptures and in-house palm leaf printing for translating digital literature to palm leaf script. Thousands of recovered ancient scriptures translated in a user-friendly way for the modern man through more than 500 publications translated into 27 languages. Next, what we are seeing is the digitization of 600,000 plus pages of indigenous Hindi literature, setting in-house server and storage to host over 120 terabytes of digitalized literature. Mission and the vision of Kailasa's Nityananda Jnanalaya, which is library, housing 15 million books, 3 million manuscripts on Hinduism, 2 million source books on Hinduism, and the world's largest Grantha Samadhi, which is the living deity in the form of scriptures. State-of-art library that is spread across 10 million square feet using software-based automated library management system, establishing world's largest digital library of Hinduism, books and manuscripts. And what you're seeing now is the Mohammed bin Bakhtiyar Khilji burning of the Nalanda University and the world's largest Grantha Samadhi, which is the living deity in the form of scriptures. State-of-art library that is spread across 10 million square feet using software-based automated library management. Next, what we are seeing is the destruction of the Gurukul education system. So on the left, you're seeing the total number of educational institutions that was available early in the days. If you see, in Rajahmundry, there were 249 colleges in various districts. In Muslihatnam, it is 49, Nellary 107. So it is like literally hundreds of educational institutions are available for people to avail and get benefited from. But after the British invasion happened, you can see just over the span of 30 years, the number of schools per 10,000 population just drastically, exponentially decreased. So, according to Sir Henry Lawrence, there was one school for every 1783 inhabitants of the most backward division of the Punjab at the time of annexation. But 30 years later, in 1881, there was one school of whatsoever to accommodate 9,000 inhabitants, which is completely impossible. So, one of the ideas that the British always passed to our generations is that we believed that the Hindu school of education was denied for the backward classes. We always believed that education was made available after the British rule in India. But the actual reality is completely opposite. Before the invasion, the British invasion into the education systems, there were 1,700 people of the backward class had a school to study. But within a span of 30 years, they shut down so many number of schools in such a way that 10,000 people had to access one single school, which is denying the right to education, the fundamental right is being denied the backward class because of British invasion into the education system. Completely opposite. Before the British invasion into the education systems, here is what we see from the Macaulay, who says that our English schools are flourishing wonderfully. The effect of this education on the Hindus is prodigious. No Hindu has received an English education ever, continues to be sincerely watching attached to his religion. If our plans of education are followed up, there will not be a single idolater amongst the respectable classes in Bengal's 30 years hence. And this will be effected without any efforts to proselytize, without the smallest interference with religious liberty, merely by the natural operation of knowledge and rejection. I heartily rejoice in this prospect. Continues to be sincerely watching attached to his religion. If our plans of education are followed up, there will not be a single idolater amongst the respectable classes in Bengal's 30 years. The attack on the Hindu source scriptures. Almost 100% of the Hindu universities are destroyed. 8 major libraries, including Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramashila, with millions of books being destroyed. There are more than 2 million temples in India, but not a single temple with library. Please understand, as per Agama, as per Vastu Shastra, third prakaram of every single temple should have a library, but you will see there are 2 million temples in India and not a single temple with library is existing today. It is because of the sinister plan of these anti-Hindu elements and the invaders to systematically destroy the source scriptures. They destroyed these library units within the temple for us to deny the source knowledge from Hinduism. Next one is the thousands of mutt libraries being destroyed or poorly maintained. That is another sad state of affairs where you can clearly see that thousands of mutt libraries, which is a source of the very religion itself, that is being destroyed or poorly maintained. Major collection of manuscripts in the hand of Oriental institutes or the institutes funded by foreign country. Millions of source scriptures are stolen by the invaders. Several genocides of Kashmiri Pandits, if you see, it's 3 to 6 lakh people were brutally kicked out. The genocide of Shivacharyas in Tamil Nadu under the atheistic governments, the destruction of Hindu universities and libraries. Next is the world's largest Tamil Hindu library, which is the Jaffna Public Library, which has been completely burnt just a couple of centuries before. Millions of source scriptures are stolen by the invaders. Several genocides of Kashmiri Pandits. Yes, 13,000 universities across Bharat and 1 lakh Gurukuls were destroyed in Bengal and Bihar alone. The destruction of Hindu universities and libraries. Next is the world's largest Tamil Hindu library, which is the Jaffna Public Library, which has been completely burnt just a couple of centuries before. Yes, 13,000 universities across Bharat and 9 million books burnt by the Islamic invader Bakhtiyar Khilji. And what you're seeing here is all the palm leaf scriptures as being completely preserved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to revive these Hindu scriptures. So here is an opportunity for you to be part of this COVID care protection centers where you can access the source knowledge and feel spiritually evolved. Throughout the segment, what we are seeing is number of people, it is not just the COVID, the deaths affected due to the COVID, but there are secondary impact that has been happening on the humanity, whether it is in terms of mental disorders, depressions, anxiety issues, etc. That has affected every single segment of the society. And now we have this Hinduism, which is offering solutions, life empowering solutions that is being revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through the Hindu scriptures, which is being completely made available and user-friendly to you in these COVID care protection centers. So we invite you to join these COVID care protection centers through the link below, kailasa.org/kailasakhe. Let's take a few minutes to join these COVID care protection centers, kailasa.org/kailasakhe, kailasa.org/kailasa-care. So let's take a few minutes for you to join the kailasa.org/kailasakhe. Completely made available and user-friendly to you these COVID care protection centers. So we invite you to join these. I'm going to stop sharing. I don't know which slide it is actually. Let's take a few minutes to join these COVID care protection centers, kailasa.org/kailasakhe, kailasa.org/kailasacare. So let's take a few minutes for you to join the kailasa.org/kailasakhe.
Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda what I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa.
I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world.
All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems.
Nityanandam, welcome back. Let us now go over the Revelations to the World by Devi Parashakti in the Akashic readings. On 12th May, Devi revealed, I came as Nijavatara. I am blessing you. Listen. People, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nityananda and came down as Nijavatara. Welcome back. People of India, listen. Carefully listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened beings come. We cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightened beings have to come. I am blessing you. Listen. They have to live. It has to flower. Few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save Cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies' rule, the captain had to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadhas, by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana, is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in the Navapashana flower. People, whoever come and dip in Vaidyasarovar, they will not have death, they will not have corona, crores and crores of people will come in line. Every day they will come and dip in Anandalingam. Further, the revelations said, listen well to my words. For India, I made a ship as protection, the Nityananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidyasarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa, O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nityananda Nijavatara without confusion and without talking just as lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. Crores of people will come there looking for help, Navapashana water feast and medicine to get health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from the great destruction, I, PARASHAKTI, made this huge ship. Even if captain is not there, ship is there. So one can see the real contrast when the so-called first world countries themselves are closing their borders during this massive global emergency, this COVID-19 pandemic, where the world does not have any solution medically or to handle the stress and depression that literally the whole world is going through. Kailasa is the only nation that has opened its doors to all without exception. It is not something where opening the doors is not something which is not fraught with risk, but how all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa across India have been enabled, micromanaged, guided directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let us see in the next few minutes. Free COVID care centers have been opened across India. This includes over a dozen. And across the various states, Adi Kailasa in Viridi, Bangalore, Salem Adinam in Tamil Nadu state, Tiruvannamalai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Rajapalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Puduvai Adinam in the state of Puducherry, Pattanam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Siragapadi Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Sripuram Adinam in Hyderabad, Madurai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Avattipalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Hosur Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Baroda Adinam in the state of Gujarat. These multiple free COVID care centers have been opened by Kailasa as it rushes to aid India, as India finds itself on the verge of the COVID-19 third wave, as various news reports indicate and as the warnings indicate by various health organizations, including the World Health Organization, the oncoming third wave is expected to be the starkest, the most dangerous, and the signs of it, as one saw, already there in terms of the various variants of the COVID-19 virus, be it the Delta, Delta Plus, or the various fungi like white fungus, black fungus, green fungus, yellow fungus, all these are making their attack on humanity in the wave of this COVID-19, because even the medicines of this or whatever extra medication needs to be taken for COVID-19, whether as a cure, the person surviving the COVID pandemic is still fraught to danger because the immune system is so debilitated. with the medicines that the person has to take, or with the infection of COVID-19, which leaves the body so vulnerable. In the face of that reduced immunity, people facing the various attacks with all these fungal infections, which normally any human body would have been able to counter. It is not like these fungi are new or that they are variants of the virus. So, at various levels, the COVID-19 protection needs to happen. One is to prevent the infection. Second, if the infection happens, how to give immediate medical care. Third, after the person recovers, how to rebuild the immunity so that the person is not fraught to the risks of getting infected with further derivatives like the various fungal infections, which are fatal, equally fatal as the COVID-19 pandemic. And on top of all these, again, not just protecting the people from the physical infection itself of the pandemic, but to ensure the mental health of the people is protected. As one saw, anxiety and depression, depressive disorder affecting practically the whole globe, over 50% of the population, be it youth, in fact, the youth affected more than 80%, or the elderly, and across all segments, which is working people, especially the frontline workers who are the healthcare workers, and the people who go to offices and work, which includes the IT sector and other office going people. As one saw, the surveys indicate extreme amount of stress disorder, anxiety, depression, frustration, and all these affecting the workplace health. And even nursing mothers, pregnant women, these statistics indicate that anxiety and depression has increased for them almost 4 times, and more than 70% of the pregnant women and nursing mothers facing anxiety, both for themselves and their yet to be born or just born children. In the face of all this problems at multiple levels, Kailasa providing a holistic solution for COVID care, because not only are the various humanitarian services being offered by the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa across India during this pandemic, but various spiritual services are also being offered. So one is protected on all the levels we just mentioned, which is physical protection in the form of multi-layer quarantine, the mental health protection because of the spiritual lifestyle that is designed and implemented across all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa, and making everyone a part of it by explaining the importance of it and doing it in a joyful manner. And above all, the cosmic revelations by Devi PARASHAKTI on the global pandemic, helping to support people to tide over this pralaya, this pandemic, this global crisis. The free humanitarian services offered during this pandemic in the de facto spiritual embassies across India include the medical care in the form of various streams of medicine, including allopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha, naturopathy. All these streams used to give the best medical care to prevent the infection. So the immunity of the body is built up so that the risk of the corona pandemic impacting an individual is reduced to the maximum possible level. Infrastructure to accommodate thousands of people so that they can avail of this COVID care protection center, and all this accommodation designed and implemented in the form of multi-layer quarantine facility. What multi-layer quarantine facility means is the whole accommodation is designed so that the interaction with the outside world of the people at large is absolutely kept to almost nil. It's only how we have a frontline workers like that. Only at the entry and exit points, a certain individual or group of individuals assigned, and the whole interaction with the so-called external world is through these individuals. And within the whole premises of the de facto spiritual embassies, various layers of quarantine maintained so that first 15 days, a person who comes into the COVID care protection center is restricted to a certain quarantine facility. And after the 15 days, if the person does not show any symptoms of ill health, the person allowed to move to the next layer, which is the residential area. So the multi-layer quarantine facility designed so that people feel protected for themselves and others. It's a community living, enforcing, implementing absolute safety and protection. And in the event of any eventuality, it is for us to be able to handle the same. There are emergency ambulances and ICU on wheels. ICU on wheels meaning till the person is able to get medical care and attention at the nearest available hospital. The ICU on wheels is situations. The personal protective medical equipment is provided to the people who are coming for the COVID care protection center, and food security management is done through food banks, and to sustain the whole ecosystem, organic farming is done, including vertical gardening, high density farming. So to join the COVID Care Protection Center, you can register now. If you have not already registered, go to the link https://kailasa.org/kailasa-care. Let's take a few seconds now to register ourselves at this link. So to join the COVID Care Protection Center, you can register now if you have not already registered.
I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you.
The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet Earth. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailashians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world.
Space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva.
And welcome back. And as we conclude, we just want to show a few glimpses includes the Bhagavad Gita class, which is conducted for the members of the Adi Kailasa Protective Preventive Multi-Layered Quarantine Facility. So there is chanting classes, Bhagavad Gita chanting classes. There is classes held for Gurukul kids, for the kids of the COVID Care Protection Center participants, so that the kids are equally kept engaged, aligned, and inspired to live the higher truths. Bhagavad Gita class, which is conducted for the members.
Contribute to the world. Let us do that.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. E-Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested.